Let's have a look now at setting up an intranet using the Paper product by Dropbox, which is found at paper.dropbox.com. Now, if you've already subscribed to Dropbox, this is a free product that's added on top of it. So you could think of this a little bit like, say, Google Docs or like an online version of Microsoft Word, but I guess a more kind of scaled down compared to all the formatting that you can do within Microsoft Word. So I'll jump in and show you some of the features around that kind of document editing. But let's first jump into what things in relation to an intranet are included and aren't included within the Dropbox Paper environment. So some of the things that you will be able to recreate within this environment is a people directory. You'll be able to put all your documents in a folder within Dropbox, which is really handy. You could have a link library in there. You can also use their templates. So over here, create with a template. You can use that for things like meeting notes, and also if you wanted to keep copies of like whiteboard images and things like that. Maintenance records you could put in there. It doesn't really have a strong follow-up in there, but one feature we're going to look at is the fact that you can have like a to-do list within the document, so you could set up your maintenance records in those ways. Company research would fit within there. The CRM functionality wouldn't work within this, so if you are looking at having kind of a little bit more towards that CRM side where you kind of keep track of clients and contractors and outside relationships, then it's going to fall short in that regards. It's also going to fall short in regards to the company calendar and even the marketing content planner. You could probably plan out some of your marketing within here, but it's going to be quite limited. Now, in terms of standard operating procedures, it would work just to be able to create documents for each of those standard operating procedures, and you'd probably use the folder functionality to split out those documents into each of their different departments. Form requests is something that it doesn't have, but you could, I guess you could use a form product which would go through to email, but it's not really linked up to Dropbox Paper in any way, so we're going to say that it's missing that functionality. And finally, we've got messaging. You can have messages related to documents, but there's no real staff messages that will go on within here, where you've kind of got company announcements and just private messaging that you might want to do between staff. All those sorts of things would be pretty rudimentary to try to do it. So in terms of, say, a company announcement, someone could potentially write it up like, company announcement announces this. People can come in here and they could write comments on here like this. Great news about that. Add emojis, all those sorts of things on there. So you could potentially do it, but it's going to be a little bit of a clunky workaround to try to do it. But this is probably a good time to jump into an actual document. And you can see here, if I click into here, I've got the title here. I can link it to a calendar event on there. But then we've got the option here to add in a YouTube video. You can add in Dropbox files, images, add a table, create a to-do, start a bulleted list. And we've got some more options, which is just around numbered lists and inserting code and breaks and things like that within there. So some of these functionalities, the way that you're going to use them, say the add media one would be if you were creating like a training library and you were creating those either through filming those and uploading them to YouTube, or you're using a tool like ScreenFlow or something where you're actually hosting the video somewhere else and then just dropping the link in here. That would be a good way of kind of onboarding staff and having training within here. Inserting Dropbox files is a good way of kind of consolidating and having that document library that you might want to have. Adding images would probably just be in regards to standard operating procedures and adding in a little bit of visualization. So you've got the text, but you've also got the images as well in there. Tables is just a way to be able to structure the information within the section that you're working on. If I wanted to create a to-do something, we can put that on a specific date. So that's due today. Because it's such a lightweight to-do list app, if I click on up here, this will actually show me what of my to-dos is due today. So if you've got staff who are within here, within your Dropbox Paper intranet, and they've got to-dos across a few different things within here. This will actually show by date, by document, or within this document what your to-dos are. So it's just the kind of lightweight way of being able to add in to-dos for different things that you're working on. So I'll cross that one off. So that's showing as done. So Dropbox Paper can be a way of a really lightweight intranet. If you're not looking for the kind of more in-depth calendar functionality, you don't really need the HR forms like leave requests and business expenses, and the messaging isn't that important to you. Maybe you're using Slack or a different tool, then checking out Dropbox Paper is something that's probably going to be useful to you, and it could be something where you don't have to pay for an extra subscription because you're already using Dropbox within your team. So I hope this is helpful.